It's time for our relationships segment this morning. As remember last week, we talked about the emotional and mental dysfunction in women. Well, today, today we will be talking about the women. And joining us, of course, is Certified Professional Mental Health Counsellor with a specialization in marriage counseling, Mr. Abiola Olaiwola. And this morning, we will be focusing on emotional and mental health dysfunction in women and how it affects marriage. Good morning.
Good morning, Emem. It's good to
have
be here
you
again.
Here. Now, let's get right into it.
I'm ready to go.
I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked this morning, even though we haven't started this conversation. But now, does growing up as a young girl play any role in a woman's emotional and mental health dysfunctionality? Very,
very true. You can't separate the kind of adult we become from the social conditioning that we experience as young children. So the conditioning, for example, I talked about toxic masculinity all the time. Most of the time, young girls have been trained or raised to believe that they are to live for others. Now, a good thing, but to a very large extent also it has its own dysfunctional part. Because now you are growing up, you've been raised to believe that every other person depends on you. You are a homekeeper. Good. As far as can go. But one of the things we've also discovered from my own private experience and my private practice, I've come to discover that a lot of young ladies today are dysfunctional mentally and socially because of the way they've been raised. Because of that, a lot of them have grown up without having what I call a sense of self. They don't own themselves. They need a lot of validation and affirmation. And that's why you see a lot of young ladies ending up in quote and unquote with the bad guys, because they have actually lacked that self-affirmation. That every girl's first hero is the father.
Yes, I was coming to
the father. Most of the time, the girl child have been raised. Thank God for the new things that are happening now. But the girls have been raised to be seen as a lesser being compared to the boy child. So they are seen as the homekeeper, do this, do that, and things like that. Others are depending on you to make the home without putting the same effort in raising the boy child. So what you see is that you have a lady that feels that is indebted to everybody, becomes a nurturer. It's a good thing. But at the end of the day, they eventually attract people that need nurturing. People that have not found personal wellness. Now, when you have a dysfunctional home where the father and mother always have an issue, the way the father talk back at the mother, the way domestic violence, for example, when you see that kind of scenario, I've seen ladies in my private session that tell me, look, if this is what marriage is all about, I'd rather not be married. So ab initio, a lot of them are coming into marriage with the kind of offensive mindset. I won't take the kind of thing. The lady told her mom, she was 15 then, she just told her mom, Mom, if you die in this marriage, I will not mourn, I will not cry. Because even me as a young girl, I can't withstand the things my dad is doing to you.
Now, let's, I hear what you've said, and which, of course, it brings to mind what I usually say, that women have been, made, or they have been seen to be rehabilitation centers for men. They just come and then they are dumping, and you have to keep,
giving and giving.
And you have to keep taking it in like a sponge. But then I'll have to, it's time that we, highlight these issues. I mean, the signs. I could be, suffering from a mental dysfunction, emotional, and I would not even know. So how do I come to that self-realization that, this is happening to me, and what do I do to fix it?
For example, one of the major causes of this dysfunction also is what I call female hormonal deflations. For example, serotonin, one of the neurotransmitters, in women is not produced as much as it's produced in men. In women, it's not even much sensitized. So what you see is that serotonin is a mood stabilizer. So women are more prone to mood swings. They are more prone to what I call mood swings and depression. In fact, it has been found through research that women are more prone to depression, but they don't get to suicidal ideation as much as men. They don't carry it out because they use religious centers, emotional outlets to get rid of this. So one of the things you see is that you see a lot of chronic mood swings. So men are confused. The woman is laughing at this point. In another moment,
she's upset,
she's
upset. Angry.
So these are the kind of things you see. You also see a kind of woman that is so dependent. She can't take decisions on her own because she has been raised in an environment that has not encouraged her self-awareness, her self-confidence. Another thing you also see, you see a lot of highly contentious women. Men are crazy, saying, what's happening? My wife's so contentious. Before I say 1, she's saying 10. Because growing up, she has seen a lot of abuse. It has been found that girl children are more domestically and sexually violated more than the boy children.
Yes.
So that brings a kind of trust issues. If your father, your brother, your uncle violated you sexually while growing up, you are going to have trust issues in relationships. So when your father harassed your mom, beat up your mom several times, you see such things, it's registered. So two things happen. Some go to the extreme, they go back into their shells. So they are less expressive. Girl children are not encouraged to be self-expressive. So when they get into marriage, they take it all in. All the good, the bad, and the ugly that the man dumps on them, they keep taking it in. A time comes,
and they explode.
She explodes. So those are the things you see. Some become very offensive. So submission is not an issue for them because they've come to realize that, look, I'm not going to take the kind of treatment my mother took. So they come prepared in marriage. So the man, even when the man is of good intentions,
they're already defensive.
She's defensive and at the same time offensive. So such a marriage will have a lot of issues if the woman does not come to realize what is going on with her. Okay,
so what I hear here is, first you need to self-realize it. And now that you have pointed out some of these things, you watching at home, these are the things that you need to, and then you also need to tell yourself the truth that, okay, well, this is what it is. Now that we have self-realized it, what's next? What do we do to fix it?
Number one, you must see the need to change.
Okay.
You must see the need to change. You can't run away from that reality because the thing you do not see, you do not pursue. Then number two, I call it growth. Another thing, growth. Growth is a function of diet. You are who you are by the things you eat. So you are a spirit, soul, and body. You need to feed well spiritually. You need to feed well emotionally. You need to feed well mentally. What are the kind of books you read? What kind of movies you watch? What are the kind of music you listen to? You need to feed well.
And
diet.
Also the friends that you keep.
And the kind of friend you keep, the association you keep. You can't be better than the quality of the life, of the mental quality of the 5 closest people to you and the books you read. The another thing is that some chronic mood fluctuations may probably need a specialist, maybe
because
a
I mean, like, that's biology. You can't change
biology,
it.
But
I can go into my serotonin home and say, hey, you need to cooperate today.
Because these things also happen because of the things you experience.
Okay.
Now, if you have been traumatized as a child, that things have gone to your subconscious. So it's a give and take thing. The hormone affect you. The things you also experience also affect your hormone also. For example, cortisol is a stress hormone. So when you're under a lot of stress, cortisol is released into your bloodstream. So you may need to see a doctor if you have serious hormonal fluctuation. Another thing I also say, and I will keep saying it, is to go for therapy. So it can help resolve those mental issues. Now, that's what they call mental cognitive distortion, irrational beliefs. Human beings are wired to have the capacity for both rational and irrational thinking. So you need a therapist to help you put things in proper perspective.
All right. I have learned so much from you today because, trust me, I can relate with many of some of the things that you have said here today.
Thank you so much for
But
having me.
before we go,
Okay.
it is important that we highlight some of these issues.
Okay.
I know you mentioned them, but I need you to please just reel them out quickly.
Okay.
And then we wrap this up.
Okay, so causes of this dysfunction, I talked about female hormonal fluctuations, socio-cultural issues, then dysfunctional home setting. Then the implications are the fact that confusing mood swings, dependency, leading validation, and affirmation every now and then.
So look out for the signs. If you're watching right now, look out for the signs and then see a therapist. Feed your body, soul, and spirit with, a lot of, good things. And also read. Google. Google is your friend. Thank you so much, Olaiwola Abiola. It's always a pleasure having you. I know that next week's topic is also going to be mind-blowing. I can't wait. All right. We have to go on a quick break now, people. Conversation continues on social media. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.